to be with you. Today we're going to talk about our beautiful temple as women and how when we shine this temple, when we have incense burning inside of it, when we have the candles lit, how this is such a beautiful invitation to men. And the experience of being a woman and shining the light of our beautiful temple can sometimes come at the cost of men who enter that temple unprepared to honor the altar, unprepared to keep those candles lit, to make sure the beautiful stained glass windows are shining. We could also use the analogy of a garden. Maybe you have had men come in and you think that they're going to tend to you and they trample your garden or they don't respect your temple. And we are left feeling like we have to close the doors to our temple when men do this. When we've experienced this type of pain and disappointment and dishonoring time and again, we can really start to shut down our radiance or reserve shining these lights or cleaning our temples and keeping them bright, blooming our flowers in our garden and emitting the fragrance of this feminine openness to a man who is worthy only. And what happens when we shut the doors to our temples and have a lot of locks and keys and spiky fences? We become invisible to the type of man who is on a mission, who has a purpose in life, and really is seeking a breath of fresh air, a beautiful, fragrant garden, a beautiful, fragrant, lit up temple for him to completely be restored in. And that this light and this fragrance of your femininity is what actually attracts him. And so if you're walking around with it closed, these type of men will not see you. They will not know what they want. You will not be able to show them what could be possible with a woman like you. And if they can't see what will be possible, they will simply move on. Or you will seem like too difficult of a chore. They will feel like they have no idea how to make you happy because they so infrequently see you exuding that radiant, happy, fresh air that he craves. And so it's important that we start cultivating our bodies as the gift of his entryway into a beautifully restorative, calming, exciting, playful place where he can be nourished, inspired, enchanted by your femininity. And also, as you cultivate this sacred space of you, that there are barriers to entry. And that those barriers to entry really are true to your heart, not to a manipulative strategy, are really an honoring of this body, of this temple, of this portal to God. Without creating a game or a fear dynamic with your partner. That you can keep the doors wide open so he can smell the fragrance from the street, but along the way, he has to cross certain lines with you for entry that you create and that you keep playful. And the way you're going to really go about this is through being able to stay open while listening to your body when it's time to just step back, to have some barriers of entry without completely closing your heart. And you do this by really practicing and becoming conscious of what it is that you really know you have to give as a woman. When you feel the confidence within your gift, within the precious gift of who you are and what you really know you are bringing to your relationship, not in the form of doing in our masculine, in the form of our being that open-doored, refreshing temple of light and color in his black and white life. And how your gift, your specific gift, I'm not here to tell you what that is, but it lives really deeply in your yearning and what you want to give. And what blocks it is whatever you came up with in our earlier practices of what you've been doing to limit love, how you resist love, limiting beliefs, limiting narratives, guarded behaviors, entitled ideas, impatient demands. Those resistances are keeping you from fully trusting the gift of your beingness and the surrender into your heart's deepest yearning of expressing the fullness of your femininity in the face of a man, bravely, from your heart, and also staying open in the presence of moments of distrust, moments of woundings, moments of limiting beliefs. Remaining open and devoted to love beyond your devotion to him. That the gift you bring is a gift for a much higher purpose of love. Because we know our partner is the person we choose to give that love to, regardless of whether he's earning it, deserving it, or not. And I know that that can feel really scary. And I'm also completely not suggesting that you accept abuse or toxicity or any type of man who tramples. This is about self-responsibility, being conscious of our patterns and what we're attracting, and also taking responsibility that our being affects what he's doing or not doing. So I hope that makes sense. And so in the next practice, you are going to enjoy a video that is all about the deer massage and opening the heart, opening the breasts, conjuring a connection with our glandular system of our breasts, which is so healing for us as women. And in this particular recording, there is a second Kundalini practice, which you are more than welcome to do. I mentioned Yoni egg practice in that recording. It was a recording from a few years ago, and I just really love it, so I've decided to add it to this course. It's a bit incongruent in terms of location, but I've added another practice, and I've mentioned Yoni egg practice in that video. And we will not be doing Yoni egg practice in this course. that is more advanced feminine practice, and by the end of this course you will be certainly ready to work with a yoni egg if you're not already. And I will be offering additional feminine only courses, so I hope that if you find the work you've done here inspiring and expansive, that we can go into some deeper feminine awakenings together on our journeys. But the mention of that yoni egg practice is not in reference to this course. So just keep in mind, just to summarize, how have you closed your temple? What gifts are unique to your temple? What does one get to experience in entering the real temple of you? Or entering your magical garden? In what ways has your garden been trampled by men who kind of do the whole hit it and quit it thing, or are just really unconscious? And how have you been unconscious to what you are and the gift you have to bring? So bringing that gift to mind. And where are your limiting stories that you're unconscious of that has brought out certain qualities in your lovers? Because when we keep this radiant temple lit with candles and incense, when we keep this garden lush with blooming flowers, he will want to come back to revisit that. And as we move forward into knowing our gifts, we're also going to work with how to keep a fence around our temple, around our garden, how to have a velvet rope of entry, and to still stay in this magnetic energy of the feminine. So enjoy the coming deer massage exercise, and thank you for